Congress is focused on prosecution, but one lawmaker argues the system itself is what needs to be fixed.
We've had in this Congress and previous Congresses when we focus on the specifics of maybe the industry and not focus so much on our broken system, which continues to be exploited and leveraged in so many different ways. And the stories that we've already heard are once again testimony to something that this committee should be examining, which is fixing the judicial system instead of going after people that are caught up in it. Ms. Schultz, I'd like to begin from your testimony. You state that over the last 20 years, Cambria has itself successfully fabricated only Cambria quartz slabs and has done so without a single reported case of a fab shop worker contracting silicosis or other occupational diseases. You also state that after more than 10 million labor hours, excuse me, in our fab shops, not a single Cambria fab shop worker has reported occupational disease, including scoliosis. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And I should note for the record too, we started small. The company was not the size that it is with 1,800 employees when it first opened in 2001. We had a very small fab shop with a single saw, and we still controlled exposures to silica. Also, remember the industry that we plugged into was the existing stone slab manufacturing and fabrication industry, which cut quarried stone as well, which has varying degrees of silica content. And one of the stones that's cut now and is most popular is called quartzite, which is a quarried stone like granite or marble, where a big piece of stone is removed from the earth and then sliced into slabs. And that type of quarried stone has silica content ranging between 90 and 99%. And so it's just not true that engineered stone or quartz is the cause of these workers' problems. And of course, their plight is incredibly sad, but until and unless these workplaces are addressed, the illnesses will continue.
So when workers follow OSHA workplace safety mandates, the risk of silicosis or other occupational diseases is negligible at best. Is that correct?
Yes, and we rely, of course, on OSHA, both federal and state OSHA, to set the appropriate regulations and the appropriate permissible exposure limits for the products that we work with. And this is true for any workplace in America. We are all bound to provide our workers a safe workplace. And so at Cambria, we do that in compliance with OSHA's regulations, and we are able to control our employees' silica exposure to below the action level, which is half of the permissible exposure limit. And those are the limits that were set during Dr. Michael's tenure at OSHA.
How many lawsuits is Cambria currently facing over silicosis?
Yeah, we're currently defending approximately 400 lawsuits, most of which are pending in California state courts. While 2 have gone to trial, it's simply overwhelming to defend against this numerosity of cases. And the chilling reality is that the lawsuits are doing nothing to address the workplace conditions. Going after the good manufacturers simply is not fixing the problem.
And in dollars, as a result, any idea what that number would be?
Yeah, of course, it's hard to estimate, but I can tell you that it costs millions of dollars to defend a case all the way through trial. And then, of course, there's the potential for a nuclear verdict. These workers are very injured and very sympathetic. And so when they go to a jury, it's a perfect case for a products liability lawyer to have the opportunity to show a very endangered worker. They're very difficult to defend.
Very good. So let's envision a world in which the trial lawyers win a few massive verdicts and businesses are now facing millions of dollars in litigation exposure. What does that mean for both the availability and affordability of stone slab products like kitchen countertops? Mr. Talwar, what are you guys anticipating could happen down the road?
For a small business like us, we're just being hammered. So the misconception in our industry is that big business makes up this entire industry, but in reality, 95% of our industry is family-owned businesses, and that's across the country. We're not taking away from the severity of silicosis and how serious this is, but it is ultimately, we're out of control of how it's cut and how it's processed. Now, if you take away quartz slabs altogether, there's still other stones that are being cut, quarried stones that are being cut. Those produce dust. If you're not controlling the actual fabrication of these stones, there's still dust. If you breathe that dust, it still has silica. If you're breathing in silica, the problem doesn't go away. So as far as cost goes, I couldn't even imagine a world.
Fitzgerald warned that without reform, the legal system will keep punishing people instead of correcting its own failures.